Close your eyes. Now imagine waking up in a completely different world. This time, you're not watching the story, you're living it.
Okay, so you open your eyes, right? And boom, you're sitting in the stands of literally the most unbelievable stadium ever built. The lights are blinding, the roar of the crowd is absolutely deafening, and the turf? Pristine. Tonight, two colossal universes are colliding, but we're not talking about some city-destroying battle here. No, they're facing off on a massive football pitch. It's Marvel's strongest going toe-to-toe with DC's finest.
Now let's get one thing straight before kickoff, because the rules governing this match, they change absolutely everything. The announcer's voice booms over the stadium speakers, and this massive wave of thunderous boos and deafening cheers just washes over you. Rule number 1, no flying. Period. Everyone stays firmly on the ground. Powers are strictly restricted to the neck down. It's the ultimate equalizer, right? It totally strips away the aerial supremacy of these literal gods and forces them to play the beautiful game face to face, right down in the mud.
I mean, just look at the sheer scale of these lineups out there. On the Marvel side, holding the line, you've got Iron Man, the Hulk, and Black Panther. You've got Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver staring down their opponents, while you can spot Spider-Man and Thor taking their positions out on the wings. And facing them on the DC squad, Superman, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman are front and center, with Cyborg and Green Lantern locking down the defense. You can actually feel the tension radiating off the field as these towering figures, who, let's be honest, are usually busy saving galaxies, size each other up for a simple game of football.
Even the pre-match warm-up is telling a massive story. Over on the Marvel half, Iron Man is jogging onto the field without his usual flight thrusters, having to rely strictly on his suit's enhanced strength and reflexes, and you can tell he's grumbling every single step of the way. Right beside him, the Hulk is stretching out, clearly super annoyed that he can't just smash his way to the goal. He's only being kept in line by a very brave referee's warning glare. Meanwhile, across the pitch, Superman is stretching his legs, looking almost insulted that he actually has to run like a normal person. And beside him, Batman, who is notably the only one out there without any superhuman abilities, is whispering complex plays and formations to his teammates. He is just radiating pure tactical confidence.
It's absolutely fascinating to see how these specific heroes are actively adapting their iconic powers to survive a purely grounded match. Black Panther, for instance, is moving with this terrifying, predatory grace. His vibranium suit gives him a kinetic speed that no ordinary player could ever hope to match. Scarlet Witch is just standing completely calmly at midfield, her hands glowing faintly with red energy. I mean, she doesn't even need to sprint when she can just guide the ball's path, right? And Wonder Woman? She's meticulously adjusting her iconic gauntlets, prepping to use them for brutal blocking and deflecting on the pitch, instead of, stopping bullets.
All right, here we go. The referee raises the whistle to his lips. A sharp, piercing trill echoes through the massive stadium. The tension snaps, and absolute chaos erupts on the field immediately.
Before you can even blink, the Flash grabs the ball. He instantly becomes this streak of red lightning, weaving through Marvel's defenders way too fast for the human eye to track. He is completely in his element, grinning and bouncing, perfectly happy to prove that his speed does not need wings to dominate this game. But out of absolutely nowhere, a silver blur cuts right across that red lightning. Quicksilver intercepts the play, stealing the ball right back from under the Flash's feet. He is equally fast, incredibly arrogant, and practically vibrating with the thrill of matching DC's greatest speedster step for step. The ball gets loose and, well, the Hulk finally gets his moment. Instead of attempting to dribble or pass, he just winds up and kicks the ball with earth-shattering force. The ball rockets upward, literally nearly leaving orbit, sailing completely out of the stadium as gasps ripple through the crowd. Somewhere down in the stands, you can hear a bewildered commentator mutter through the static, "That's a foul, right? That has to be a foul." It's just this perfect moment of levity amidst the sheer godlike chaos. So as they bring in a replacement ball, the sheer clash of styles taking over the pitch is just incredible to witness. You have pure brute force clashing head-on, as Superman and Black Panther leap up and collide in midair for a header. The impact actually echoes through the stands, with both heroes refusing to back down a single inch. But contrast that sheer power with pure strategy. Batman is playing immaculate defense. He's anticipating every single Marvel play 3 steps ahead, shifting his defensive line and positioning his superpowered teammates perfectly, despite having 0 powers himself. Suddenly, Marvel finds an opening.
Scarlet Witch receives a pass. She doesn't panic. Actually, scratch that. She doesn't even sprint. She stands completely calmly, her eyes flashing red. With just a flick of her fingers, she uses her chaos magic to bend and curve the ball in a way physics simply doesn't allow. It bypasses 3 DC defenders completely and goes rocketing past the goalie.
1-0. Marvel draws first blood. The entire red side of the stadium absolutely erupts into a frenzy of cheers. The noise is literally shaking the foundations of the arena.
Over on the blue side, Wonder Woman narrows her eyes. She is completely unimpressed, and she immediately vows to answer back. She isn't going to let that slide. Watch how she retaliates here. She grabs her glowing lasso of truth, wraps it around the goalposts, and uses it as a massive, super-powered slingshot maneuver. She launches an absolute rocket of a shot straight across the pitch. Technically, it is highly against the rules, but let's be real, the referee is way too intimidated by an angry Amazonian warrior to even think about blowing the whistle.
The ball tears into the back of the net, 1-1. DC ties it up in spectacular fashion, and now the blue half of the stadium is on their feet, roaring back at the Marvel supporters. The energy is absolutely electric. That equalizer sparks this unstoppable momentum for DC. Just watch this drive. The Flash goes on a run for the absolute ages. He is a blur of red lightning, effortlessly weaving through the entirety of Marvel's incredibly strong defense. He hits the corner, turns, and sets up an absolutely perfect pinpoint pass. Superman leaps up, again grounded, no flying allowed, but his natural vertical leap is incredible. He connects with the pass and executes a header with so much raw Kryptonian force that it literally threatens to tear the netting apart. 2-1 DC. The crowd goes wild. The weight of this lead in the late stages of the game is immense. DC has the advantage, and the clock is brutally ticking down for Marvel. We are in the final, agonizing seconds of the match. The tension is incredibly thick. Iron Man realizes it's now or never. He makes one last, desperate play, diverting all his suit's remaining auxiliary power straight to his boots. Using incredibly precise repulsor-powered footwork, he blasts past 2 DC defenders, pushing the boundaries of the no-flying rule to its absolute limit without actually leaving the ground. Iron Man spots an opening and sends a crossing pass to Black Panther. T'Challa receives it beautifully. He goes one-on-one with Batman. With a burst of kinetic vibranium speed, he completely fakes out the Dark Knight, which is a nearly impossible feat, by the way, and fires a blazing shot directly toward the top corner of the goal. The entire stadium holds its collective breath. The ball is soaring. Superman tracks it. He dives. Remember, he's not flying. He's relying on pure, grounded, lightning-fast reflex. He stretches out his hands, completely parallel to the turf, and his fingertips just graze the leather. He barely deflects the ball out of bounds, sending it crashing into the advertising boards. The referee raises his arms. The whistle blows. Full time.
The aftermath on the pitch is an exercise in superhero psychology all by itself. Iron Man is immediately in the referee's face, loudly protesting that the no-flying rule was fundamentally unfair to characters built around flight. The Hulk is tapping his captain on the shoulder, just asking if he's finally allowed to smash something now that the match is officially over. But over on the winning DC side, Batman stands quietly amidst the celebrating gods. He allows himself the smallest, rarest of smiles. His meticulous strategy worked flawlessly, securing a 2-1 victory, and he did the whole shebang without possessing a single superpower of his own.
And that is exactly what it would look like. 2 distinct universes, 1 legendary football pitch, and not a single flight power in sight. As you step out of the stadium and back into reality, I have to ask you, Marvel or DC? Who were you rooting for? Were you cheering for Marvel's tactical strikes or DC's coordinated power? Think about which side you supported, and more importantly, tell us which fictional world we should step into next. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and we'll see you in the next Explainer.